Yung maikli lang. Okay. So dito na tayo sa legal instruments against cybercrime here in the Philippines. And we know that this is Republic Act 10175. So legal measures made in the Philippine government against cybercrime had been somewhat a knee-jerk reaction to the demands of the international community. Kasi kung maalala ninyo sa past lessons natin, ah matagal nang nag-start ang cybercrime sa ibang bansa. But here in the Philippines, we weren't able to adapt yet. Nito lang 2012 tayo nakapag-adapt. Ayun na nga, medyo na-pressure na tayo doon sa international community. So though this may be the apparent case, the laws that are crafted are crucial and central to the fight on cybercrime. It is one of the most formidable tools in the crusade against cybercrime. Of course, we cannot fight any type of crime for that matter kung walang batas. Kasi diba, there is no crime if there is no law punishing it. So even if we are offended with some acts, kung wala namang batas, then we cannot do anything about it. So many laws have been made. However, much of them were often criticized, if not questioned, by many citizens on the premise that they are unconstitutional for they restrict some inherent rights of the people. Katulad dito sa cybercrime law natin, ang isang naging issue ay ang freedom of speech daw natin. Because dito sa law, merong provision against cyber libel. So, yun na nga, ang dating na napipigilan tayo na sabihin yung gusto natin. Ayan. So, this section discusses the law and legal instruments of the Philippine government against cybercrime. So, ito yan. Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to outline the law created to suppress cybercrime. Okay. Brief history muna o ang alamat ng RA 10175. The legal framework of RA 10175 or Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012 is in line with the Cybercrime Prevention Act of the Budapest Convention, which took effect in February 2014. The Philippine Congress enacted the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, which addresses entirely crimes committed against and through the computer system. Yon, on September 12, 2012, and signed by the late President Benigno Aquino III. It includes substantive, penal, procedural, and international cooperation rules. Kaya nababanggit ang international because cybercrime can happen at any place in one time. Pwedeng mangyari ang madaming krimen sa isang pagkakataon sa madaming lugar. 'Di ba? Ganun ang computer systems ganun ang internet, 'di ba? Kaya mahalaga na meron tayong international cooperation. Mandatory bills on cybercrime investigations are a work in progress in the Philippines, aiming to introduce new procedural powers, responsibilities, and extradition provisions. Kasi nga, kung nangyari sa ibang bansa, ang criminal ay nasa ibang bansa at ang victim ay nandito sa Pilipinas, ayun, kailangan ng mga ganyang provisions. These mandatory bills aim to provide a structured approach for prosecutors and investigators on cybercrime investigations and further align legislation with the Budapest Convention. So, bakit nagkaroon ng ganitong batas? So, the purpose of the act focuses on the preemption, prevention, and prosecution of cybercrimes such as offenses against the piracy, confidentiality, integrity, and availability of computer data and systems, computer-related offenses, and content-related offenses, which we were able to discuss last meeting natin. Its original goal was to penalize acts in Republic Act 9775 like cybersex and child pornography, and RA 10173 like identity theft and unsolicited electronic communications. However, various groups opposed the provision to expand the scope of libel law to cover internet posts, which led the Supreme Court to issue a temporary restraining order in a status quo ante order. Siguro bata pa kayo nun, pero mainit na issue yan before dahil nga umabot pa sa Supreme Court dahil madaming nagki-claim na ito ay unconstitutional. Yung sa cyber libel part, hindi naman yung buong batas. Yan. The Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012 could sentence internet users up to 12 years in prison for posting defamatory commentaries on social media such as Facebook and Twitter. Though online libel was not part of the original bill proposed by the DOJ, the Senate passed an amendment to insert it and was primarily proposed by Senator Vicente Soto III. In addition, this act provides that crimes defined and penalized by the revised penal code as amended and special laws if committed by, through, and with the use of information and communications technologies shall be covered by the relevant provisions of the revised penal code, provided that the penalty should be 1 degree higher than the penalty imposed in the revised penal code. Ayun, 1 degree higher siya kapag gumamit ka ng computer. Revised Penal Code as amended and special laws. Furthermore, this act provides that prosecution under the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012 can be without prejudice to any liability for violation of any provision of the RPC as amended or special laws. Okay, next is its effectiveness and value. So on October 9, 2012, 6 days after the law took effect, the Supreme Court issued a 4-month injunction while scrutinizing the law for possible violations of constitutional provisions on freedom of expression. I think you have a clear understanding on this already na lahat ng batas natin, lahat ng nasa revised penal code, lahat ng nasa special laws ay dapat nakaangkla doon sa ating Philippine Constitution. Kumbaga, yung Biblia, yung hari ng lahat ng batas ay ang Constitution. Kailangan lahat ng batas nakaayon sa kanya. Kung merong hindi masusunod, if it's the Philippine Constitution versus the Republic Act, yung Republic Act ang susuko doon sa ating Philippine Constitution. Laging ganon. Siya ang mag-a-adjust, si Republic Act. Okay. Then on February 6, 2020, the Supreme Court extended the temporary restraining order indefinitely. The Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012 sanctions content-related offenses performed using a computer system such as cybersex, child pornography, and libel. In addition, unsolicited commercial communications or content that advertises or sells products or services is also punished. However, there are some exceptions to this law relating to the transmission of unsolicited material. It is not a crime if the recipient has given prior agreement. Yung nabanggit din natin to last meeting na kung may consent, okay lang. Pero kung kunyari, ikaw yung mismong nag-click ng subscribe, tapos nakakatanggap ka ng mail, o hindi ka pwede magsampa ng kaso, ikaw yung nag-subscribe eh. Okay. The communication is an announcement from the sender to users, and the recipient has an easy, reliable way to refuse it, among other things. Another is, alam niyo kapag may bagyo, di ba yung mga ka-text natin, pare-pares natin tong ka-text si NDRRMC. So, magte-text sa atin, sasabihin, may bagyong paparating, maghanda sa paglikas, sasabihin niya kung anong storm signal, kung may chance ba na magkaroon ng landslide sa lugar na yon. Ah, Yun, hindi naman natin talaga hinihingi yun, di ba? It's unsolicited, but it is considered an announcement from the government. So, hindi mo rin pwedeng sampahan ng kaso ang NDRRMC dahil nakatanggap ka ng paalala nila. Okay. Ayan. Minsan nga lang parang kang aatakihin, di ba? Lalo kung yung settings ng phone mo, naka-vibrate siya kapag nakakatanggap ng messages from NDRRMC. Last time, nung nagko-collect ako ng data sa Bataan, bumagyo nun eh. Di ko sure kung nag-suspend ng klase dito sa Pampanga. Pero nung nandun ako, nag-suspend ng klase bandang 2:00. Saktong na-receive ko yung message ng NDRRMC. Gulat na gulat ako kasi nga, naka-vibrate yung cellphone ko. Tapos sasabihin niya, magkakaroon daw ng landslide doon. Kaya hindi ko alam kung uh, uuwi na ba ako o i-risk ko na lang yung buhay ko para matapos na yung dissertation ko. Ayun. So individuals found guilty of cybersex naman face a minimum prison sentence of 6 years and 1 day, a maximum prison of 12 years, and a fine of at least 200,000 but not more than 1 million pesos. In addition, unsolicited communication is punishable by 1 month to 6 months in prison and a fine of not less than 50,000 but not more than 250,000 or both. Then, child pornography through computer systems has a penalty of 1 degree higher than what is provided in RA 9775 or the Anti-Child Pornography Act of 2009. In RA 9775, those who produce, disseminate, or publish child pornography will be fined the amount of not less than 50,000 pesos, but not more than 5 million pesos, and a maximum prison sentence of 20 years and 1 day to 40 years. The Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012 also penalizes offenses against the privacy, confidentiality, integrity, and availability of computer data and systems, such as illegal access, unauthorized interference, system interference, data interference, misuse of devices, and cyber squatting. Na-discuss na natin to. In this context, cyber squatting is defined as the acquisition of domain names on the internet in bad faith or with the intent to gain profit, mislead, destroy one's reputation, or deprive others of registering or creating an account to the domain name involved. Also, the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012 covers any digital fraud, computer-related forgery, and identity theft. In the Philippines, as many as 87% of Filipinos were identified as victims of malicious activities committed online, according to DOJ, which quoted a 2010 report of the security software firm Symantec. This include victims of malware invasion, sexual predation, and online or phishing scams. So, ganun, kadaming Pilipino na ang nabiktima. Baka tayo rin mismo, di natin alam na biktima na tayo. Mga nagsisend ng kung ano-ano mula dun sa kung ano-anong hindi magagandang content mula dun sa account mo. Pero hindi naman ikaw ang nag-send. Ayun. Okay. Salient points of RA 10175. So, it is internationally consistent definitions for cybercrime. Parehas tayo ng definition in other countries. No one's liability for cybercrime offenders. It has increased penalties, enhanced authority granted to law enforcement authorities. By the way, sa increased penalties, kasi nga usually, kapag nakagawa ka ng cybercrime, na meron din nito sa RPC, sa Revised Penal Code, it is usually 1 degree higher yung penalty. Pero kung wala pang damage na nagawa, usually 1 degree lower doon sa nakalagay na punishment sa revised penal code. Okay. And then expanded jurisdictional authority for prosecution, provisions for international cybercrime coordination effort, and greater ability to combat cybercrimes because of that coordination. Dahil nga, uh, tumotropa tayo sa ibang bansa at may mga ganun nga provision na magkaroon ng extradition sa mga criminals abroad who committed crimes here in our country. Several of the definitions of cybercrimes under the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012 are patterned after the Budapest Convention's definition of illegal access and an interception, data and system interference, misuse of devices, computer-related forgery, and computer-related fraud. The National Bureau of Investigation and the Philippine National Police are the law enforcement authorities for the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. Both shall organize a cybercrime unit or center staffed by special investigators to handle cases involving violations of the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012 exclusively. I remember nung nagtitisis pa ako sa masters ko, dahil nga cybercrime victimization yung topic ko. So nagpunta rin ako sa regional office ng anti-cybercrime group. Yun lang naman sa Olivas. Para ang sabi, 3 lang sila. Regional office yun ah. 3 lang daw sila. Ibig sabihin, kulang na kulang ang mga tao. Hindi pa ganun kadami ang mga trained na investigators dito. Okay, so to ensure that the technical nature of cybercrime and its prevention get the attention it deserves, kaya kailangan may special investigators na exclusive sila doon talaga ng pansin yung mga ganong klase ng kaso. Then number 2 is to submit timely and regular reports to the Department of Justice for review and monitoring, including pre-operation, post-operation, and investigation outcomes, as well as any other materials that may be necessary for the case. Authorized to collect or record traffic statistics in real time related to specific communication conducted via a computer system using technical or electronic means. Only the origin, destination, route, time, date, size, duration, or type of underlying service are referred to as traffic data. So yan lang yung sakop ng term na traffic data, not the content or identity of the communication. A court warrant will be required for any other data to be acquired, seized, or released because meron din tayong data privacy law. So, etong mga to lang ang pwede mong makuha as traffic data. Yung content, yung mismong nilalaman ng document, hindi mo pwedeng kunin. Separate na court order yun. The regional trial court shall have jurisdiction over any violation of the provisions of the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, including any violation committed by a Filipino national regardless of the place of commission. Jurisdiction shall lie if any of the elements was committed within the Philippines or committed with the use of any computer system wholly or partly situated in the country, or when by such commission any damage is caused to a natural or juridical person who at the time the offense was committed was in the Philippines. So yun, RTC ang may sakop. Okay? Okay. Dagdag ano lang. Info, reporting of cybercrime. So now that there are specialized teams to address issues of cybercrime in the country, there are more ways than one to file a complaint. So on the Philippine National Police Anti-Cybercrime Group's website, complaints may be filed through walk-in. Punta ka doon sa mismong opisina, sa Anti-Cybercrime Group Building, Camp Crame. And then, I think pwede rin naman sa mga regional offices to. Complaint Action Center hotline sa Viber, sa Facebook, or sa Twitter. The Department of Justice also provides a matrix on their webs to easily guide the netizens with a checklist of who may complain the cybercrime offense complained of and documentary requirements to support the complaint. So similar with the PNP-ACG, there are walk-in and electronic options available. So walk-in, punta ka doon sa Ermita or through their website or email hotline, letter na report or referral. Okay, so that's it. Republic Act 125, the Cybercrime Prevention Act.